Hey, what's up guys, Footy Manager TV here, and today I'm going to start a series of episodes focusing on players for the upcoming season. They're mostly going to be cheap players that can make you money or mid prices that are unique and not a lot of people would really notice, and hopefully you can pick them up. But this season with the really you can do 2 trades each week, but there's no overall limits, so they're going to be easy to get in. So one tip from me: you should always, in each position, at least start with one mid-pricer, so you can really side trade to the best really mid-pricer that you notice in that position. Say, I'll just go for one example here. Say if you get Reece Shaw, which you probably aren't going to, and then you have him in the season. He doesn't do really great for the first 2 matches, but say here, Sam Wright from North Melbourne, and he does really good. And he really stands out. You like the position he's playing, you like the points he's getting, you really like his form, and you think he's got a good job security and he's going to be a really great player this season. You would basically just side trade, and then they're basically the same price. And saying if you didn't have Reece Shaw and you had like another premium as you normally would, just say like Heppel, Birchall, Beau Waters, whoever you have, their cost a bit more. You're not really going to trade a premium for a mid-pricer. You might if they're going to decrease a lot, but it will be easier, in my opinion, just to trade for a mid-pricer for a mid-pricer. Some people may not think that's a good idea, but that's something I am going to go with this season. But now, focusing on the players I'm going to show in this video, like I said, they're not really going to be premiums, mid-prices, or players that are going to make you the money. And here, but there's not too much, I don't know too much of the rookies right now, just players that I know are going to play for sure, and then more into the mid-prices that I think could do good this season. But obviously, they're not all going to do good. They're just players I have on my personal shortlist that I'm looking out. I'm even watching back on Fox Footy the matches from last season, just watching a bit closer, because I only concentrate on the players I have, and I didn't have them this season. I focus on the players I have in my team. But anyway, moving on, here we got Brett Goods, that Western Bulldogs recruited from Williamstown. He's a running defender, but I still need to see where the Bulldogs are going to play him this season. So got to watch out for him in the NAB Cup. Got to see where he plays, what his role at the team. But definitely at his price, he's going to make you lots of cash if he is playing. And I would imagine they will give him a chance because he is an experienced player playing in the VFL. And I've watched him play numerous times. He seems a good player, and he can pick up a lot of those disposals. And if he does play that running off half-back role, he can get those +6s, which I know a lot of people love to see. When you watch the live scores on Fan Footy or wherever else you watch them, when your players get +6, have a very good feeling. Anyway, moving on to the next player. So here we've got Jasper Pittard from Port Adelaide, coming to his 3rd season of AFL. Last year only played 1 game where he got injured in, but now apparently in pre-season he's been doing pretty well. I'm sure as myself, a lot of people are very eager to see how he plays in the NAB Cup. If he does good, he's someone that you're going to see in every guy's team, depending how really good he does. If he gets really solid scores, if he gets like maybe 70 or something like that, 60s in the NAB Cup, if he averages reasonable, he's someone people are going to look to start. But if he does play, if he is really a key player, he's noticed by people, they think he's going to start, he'll probably take the bench role. But if he's just playing, I'm pretty sure he's going to be one, just because of he's a few years into the system already. People are going to pick him up. He's a bit more costly than the others rookie players, but he's going to be one you're going to see in a lot of teams, especially if he does well in the NAB Cup. And here we've got Dylan Roberton, who made his way to St Kilda from the Dockers, and he's one to look out for. You probably think I even know he's not a great point scorer, or at least at Fremantle he wasn't. But now at St Kilda, you know their defenders like to pick up a lot of marks. You know Gilbert in previous years, you know Sam Fisher, they picked up lots of marks, lots of kicks. So he's potentially one to look out for. If he can get that kind of role in the team, if he gets in the team, you really got to see. I don't know if he's good enough for their team yet. Got to look more closely at their like tall defenders. But if he gets in the team and plays that kind of role, he could pick up a decent score. If he could average, if I think he would average at least 70, I would get him in, because he's still one of those players that could make a bit of money for you where you can upgrade later, or he could potentially be a good scorer. Just really depends how St Kilda play their footy out of the back. Next up, we have Thomas Murphy from the Gold Coast Suns, who moved from Hawthorn, really seeking more playing time. Didn't get too much of a chance last season. And in Gold Coast, you know the ball's going to be in their defence a lot. And he's going to be one that may have a chance to pick up a lot of those marks, kicks in defence. But you really got to see how it really eventuates. If he just plays a lockdown role, that may not be the case. At 237k, he's probably not going to make you too much money, but really I don't think he's going to be good. He's just one that might do good in the NAB Cup. That's what I've compiled, a really big list. So he's one that may do good, but I don't really think he will. Just he's one of them that could, just to look out for to see how he does. But really, I don't think he'll be in my team come the start of the season. But who knows? There is players every year that surprise you. But that's definitely a chance, because you know the ball will be in Gold Coast's defence quite often this season. And now Tony Armstrong, after moving from Adelaide Crows last season to Sydney, he didn't really get too much of a chance in the premiership winning side. So I'm not really sure if he'll get a look in. But if he does, he's definitely one, because he is a defender that can pick up the kicks, pick up a lot of possession of the ball, and he was on the people's radar last season, so he was on people's radar for some reason, so he's one again to watch out. But still last year he didn't play too much and in the premiership winning team, so I'm not sure if he can get in the squad. I guess it's a waiting game. You got to see if he's in the best 22 or not, or really the best 18. You really want him to be a starting on the ground. You don't really want him to be a bench player, as you might be in danger of the dreaded vest. And now onto Ashley Smith of West Coast. He's another cheap one who didn't play much last season. But if he can make his way into the team, in 2011, he actually had 2 scores of 90 and a score of 100, being not played too much as well then. So he can score pretty alright scores. He can get the 90s, 100s, and getting that more experience now, another year older, if he can make his way into the team, he may get those good scores consistently. Once again, got to look into the NAB Cup to see if he's part of the plans, and he could be really one smoky player that not much people would have in their teams, and a reasonable price. And if he does score that well, he will be making heaps of cash for you. But with the scores he puts out, if he does, you just keep him if he's scoring well. But once again, there's the possibility. These players are sort of not people would genuinely have in your dream team. These are just players to have on your radar to look out in the NAB Cup. A lot of them are going to be young players, so they always have that room to improve. Every year there's a couple younger players that improve in their scores, that make money and can get reasonable scores for you. So here's the last guy for this episode. I probably will do one more defender episodes of these mid-price players that can make you money, then move on to other positions. But here, Ricky Henderson, who is also able to select as a forward. So I'm not sure if you'd rather select him as a defender or a forward. That's pretty much your preference. But and really being limited positions this year for defenders and forwards is going to be really hard. But I think you really need that mid-pricer. And Henderson, he could potentially be one. He scored 120 last season against Port Adelaide, so he does have the capability of scoring, getting really a big score. And if he can really consistently put out 70s, 80s, and then occasionally getting that 100 maybe every few matches, he could potentially be a really good player. But obviously that 120 was a one-off where they played against Port Adelaide and pretty much dominated. But he did get that good score in that match, so you shouldn't disregard that potential that he can get. And another year, he's going to grow. He's a young player, so he can only improve. So very interested to see how he goes in the NAB Cup. If he gets good scores, he could be one on people's radar. You don't know. And these players are sort of players out of the dark, players that a lot of them people really wouldn't be looking at them. I like to go for some really unique players just to see how they go. A lot of them probably won't even be in my team just because all of these players that I show you aren't going to shine in the NAB Cup, but maybe some of them will. That's the thing, getting a lot of guys out there on my short list, and also I'm still watching back the old games of last year in Fox Footy, so I kind of find that a better indication on some occasions, more so for the more experienced players, because you know how they get the job done, and if they do bad in the NAB Cup, doesn't really matter too much. So anyway, like I said, that's it for this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time with more videos like this.